Just where is the price of Bitcoin going? Industry heavyweights have been giving their opinions recently, making bold calls in spite of the falling interest in the price of Bitcoin. A new report sheds light on China's mining scene and some big updates for you on VID. Now let's just get straight into it, guys. So Bitcoin bulls are all out there going on record during this downtrend, making big and bold price predictions. Bitcoin is heading towards the $100,000 mark, at least according to veteran commodity trader Peter Brandt. The guys over at Morgan Creek are unsurprisingly super bullish on the future of Bitcoin. Mark Yusko, Bitcoin better than gold to reach $500,000 in 10 years. Anthony Pompliano, also of Morgan Creek, calling for $100,000 Bitcoin by December 2021. Ross Ulbricht of Silk Road fame, hashtag free Ross. Come on, guys. Seriously, how is Ross still in prison? Anyway, besides the point. Ross is calling for $100,000 Bitcoin in 2020. Tim Draper, he's calling for Bitcoin to hit $250,000 in 2020. Bitcoin price predictions. Always a good time. And actually, I feel like calling for $100,000 Bitcoin by 2021 at this point is relatively conservative in terms of Bitcoin price prediction calls, because 100K actually fits very nicely with the stock to flow model. The stock to flow gives us 100K Bitcoin in May 2021. Probably insane bull market peak late 2021. Time will tell though, because in the end, who knows? Everybody's got a different opinion on it. When and how much, it's just an educated guessing game, right? And we give a lot of attention to crypto celebrities who make big, bold predictions. But one thing I am certain of is that Bitcoin is going up. Seriously, stacking sats now is a crazy opportunity. Remember, it only costs around $70 to pick up 1 million Satoshis today. Dollar cost average in and hold that Bitcoin for the long term. But you know what? Such long-term speculative predictions like the ones that I have shared with you here, they're kind of a bit like butts. Everybody has got one. Some are just better at drawing lines on charts than other butts anyway. And I know. You're imagining me right now with my butt drawing lines on a chart, aren't you? Perverts. And if you weren't, you are now. Yeah! So in that spirit of making price predictions, let's do something fun. I want you to put your end of the year Bitcoin price prediction in the comment section of this video, along with your Bitcoin address. The person who is the closest at 12 midnight New Zealand time, the end of the year, start of the new decade, will get $100 worth of Bitcoin. So let me know what you guys think. Where is the price of Bitcoin going to be? Now, with that being said, if Bitcoin is going to 100K, and I truly believe that it is, then you might ask, well, Lark, then why is everyone and their mom not rushing out to buy Bitcoin? Hold on, let's go buy some Bitcoin, guys. Be right back. Well, it's a good question. It's a good question because in theory, most people would like to 10x their wealth in 2 to 3 years. I mean, most people just want to get rich overnight. That's why lotteries remain so damn popular. But most logical people, if you're to talk to them and say, hey, 10x your wealth in 2 to 3 years, they'd be down for that. But the reality is that interest in buying Bitcoin has fallen back to major lows not seen since the deep despair of the 2018 crypto winter. Google searches for Bitcoin are down big time, indicating that public interest in Bitcoin is also down big time. Now in 2019, the peak interest was in June. Since June, interest is down 77 points in search terms. And when we expand our view out a little bit Interest in Bitcoin is down 93 points since the heights of the 2017 bull run. Retail investors, they're just not here right now. The sad and the tough reality is that when price starts soaring upwards again, retail investors are going to come back and pile in and buy the top. We thank you for your sacrifice, by the way. The herd mentality of investing, oh, it's so crazy, but this is what happens. Greed and FOMO and all these emotions kick in on a wide scale situation. And it happens time and time again. Stacking sats at these prices is a delicious thing to do. Don't worry about the herd mentality. Anyway, in spite of all the incredibly exciting things that are happening, which I cover here on the channel all the time, we have not yet seen a new rush by retail investors to come in and gobble up Bitcoin. And even if people know the name Bitcoin, that does not mean that they have it or that they want to have any of it. The tough reality for us Bitcoin enthusiasts right now is that in spite of all the big merchant adoption stories like Japan Railways and 1.4 million point-of-sale terminals in Brazil accepting Bitcoin, doesn't matter. All the infrastructure, all the publicity, lots of celebrities talk about Bitcoin. We have futures contracts and Fidelity pushing it to their customers, and the wallets are more user-friendly than they've ever been. Doesn't matter. Bitcoin, still a pretty small thing at this stage. We're still early on the adoption curve. We are still extremely early in terms of price discovery, which goes a little bit back to those crazy price predictions. And just to give a sense of scale here, the Federal Reserve is putting up $425 billion just for the first 2 weeks of January to ensure that the overnight repo markets don't collapse. Remember, fellow citizens of Oceania, everything is fine with the economy, and 2 plus 2 does indeed equal 5. Anyway, that $425 billion so casually put forward by the Federal Reserve with zero questions for Wall Street is 3 times the market cap of Bitcoin. Wowzers. Oh, hey, by the way, Bitcoin has been named the best asset of the decade by Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Oh, thank you, oh banks. Thank you for your benediction. Oh, banks, oh, banks. Maybe tomorrow you can tell us that the sky is blue, man. Thanks for pointing out the obvious. Psh, banks. Of course Bitcoin was the best asset of the last decade. Where you guys been? Under a rock? Living in a cave? Playing the fiat games, what you guys been doing. And I have a strong feeling that Bitcoin will also be the best asset of the next decade as well. What do you think? Do you think Bitcoin will be the top asset of the 2020s? Let me know about that down below as well. All right, let's move on. A new study shows that China's Bitcoin miners control 66% of the global hash rate. This is in spite of the fact that places like the United States and Russia and Kazakhstan and Georgia and Iceland and Sweden and Paraguay and a few other places too are all making really, really big moves in terms of Bitcoin mining growth in those countries. China still remains the Bitcoin mining king. Nobody has even come close to challenging that throne yet. Although, to be fair, a lot of the big super mines that are planned for places like Russia and the United States, they haven't gone live yet. So keep an eye out for like the one in North Korea and Russia and stuff like that. Those will be really, really big when they come on board. And when they do come on board, it'll shift that balance of power at least just a little bit. Interestingly, too, is to look at the centralization of mining even within China. The Sichuan province, China's 5th biggest province, accounts for a whopping 50% of the entire global hash rate. Whoa! The rest of China combined only makes up 16%. The 66% figure, by the way, is up 6% since June. The reality in China remains that Bitcoin mining is still thriving, and Bitmain has cornered that thriving market with a whopping 75% of the hardware market being in Bitmain's pocket. Wow. Now, in spite of the recent international expansions into places like Texas, Bitmain is still focusing their major energy inside of China because Bitmain's able to cut sweetheart deals with power providers in places like Sichuan. They're able to sell massive amounts of hardware to their mates on the sly, who then build warehouses in Sichuan and mine over there. And of course, Bitmain's able to front run everyone by mining with their high-powered machines before they deliver them to customers, because all they have to do is put them on a truck, send them a few hours away to Sichuan, plug them in, and they're ready to go. And this is probably where the real conversation needs to happen around Bitcoin mining centralization. Currently, we have got just 3 companies, Bitmain, Canaan, and eBang. They control almost the entire hardware market. There are some other very, very small players, but these 3, particularly Bitmain, capture the lion's share of the entire Bitcoin mining hardware market, and these are all Chinese-based companies. They all deploy their machines inside of China. And now let's keep it real. Chinese miners, they have every bit as much of a right to mine Bitcoin as everyone else. Because you know what? If no other international companies can rise up to meet the challenge of producing enough hardware to supply the demand for the Bitcoin mining industry, then you know what? The Chinese companies deserve to corner that market. And if no other region can acquire enough hardware to have a significant impact on the geographic distribution of Bitcoin mining, then you know what? China also deserves to be number 1 in the mining hash rate. This is a competitive marketplace that rewards innovation, and China and Chinese miners have been the ones who have been innovating the most. And I want to see a wider geographic distribution. I really, really do. I don't think it's a positive that we have half the hash rate in one region of China. And yes, as mentioned, when the big mines in the United States and Russia come online, they are going to shift the balance a little bit. But that does not change today the massive impact of China's miners on the Bitcoin scene. And finally, for you today, I have some updates for you on a very exciting project that I covered here on the channel just a few months ago. That project is called VID. Now, VID, for those of you who may not remember, or maybe you're just new to the channel, actually had the founder on a few months ago. Now, during that chat with the founder, we talked about their revolutionary new social media app that VID has been developing. But there have been a lot of really, really big updates since that conversation. So I want to share some of those updates with you. So this video is really going to be breaking down some of those big updates and kind of going over some of the really important things that you need to know about VID before their app launches. Quick disclosure note for you as well. I am a token holder of VID, and also this video is part of the continuing sponsorship that I have with VID. So a quick recap for you on just what VID is. So VID is pioneering what is being dubbed the memory media industry, using artificial intelligence to help you create and to keep your memories alive. While there have been a lot of crypto social media attempts out there, I really believe that VID is in a category of its own for a few key reasons. As we know, Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and all those big social media platforms, they all exist on predatory models. VID's shaking that up. They're giving back to you. VID is making you a stakeholder and a participant in the success of the platform. Now, VID is on the verge of launching their app. The beta launch of VID is in just a few days on the 24th of December, and the full launch is on January 25th. Now, this is very exciting. We saw VID's test flight app accumulate 30,000 users in just 2 weeks. And a major factor, too, that we have to discuss here with VID is that they have a massive amount of really high quality influencers lined up that are dedicated to using the app, which is massive. They've signed influencer partners with a combined following of 350 million plus followers. Now, they're releasing the names of new influencers each day over on their Instagram between now and January 25th. But here is a quick example of one of the really big influencers that are going to be coming over and using vid. Her name is Kristen Honcher. She is one of the top 5 TikTok influencers and also a massive Instagram influencer. So these are the kind of people that they are bringing in. Now, on average, influencers generally have a conversion rate of around 2.55% for attracting their existing audience to come over to a new platform. But even if there was only a 1% conversion rate, that would mean that vid would have 3.5 million active wallet addresses, which would very quickly make vid the largest DApp in crypto by miles. And they're still signing up new influencers all the time. And of course, this conversion figure is actually a low ball figure. But even with a low estimate, they're still doing incredibly well, because 3.5 million users is massive. And of course, that does not include the growth that will be assumed by the viral loop. So the token model of vid is an incredibly well thought out model, purpose built to juice the growth of the platform in a serious way. The token model is directly aligned to user growth, which gives investors an opportunity to participate strategically in the growth of the vid platform. So the value of the platform will be determined by the strength of the user base of the platform. And the aim is that for every user that signs up, that user is going to bring one more additional user on board. There will also be a token rewards multiplier for people who are doing daily posts. So it really incentivizes people to be active on the platform because they make more money. The so-called variable injection model is what is going to enable that viral loop to really take off. Basically like adding fuel to the fire. So with every user that joins the vid platform, there will be a release of VI tokens into the vid ecosystem. 50% will be allocated into the creator pool and 50% will be allocated to the vid foundation pool. Since tokens are only injected as additional users join the platform, this of course will help to avoid that far too common issue of insiders and founders dumping their tokens on retail investors. Also, the initial circulating supply of the VI token will be very low. The team and the founders, they only receive their tokens when a new user joins the platform. The tokens are thus only injected into the platform as the platform grows. This encourages more user growth and directly aligns the incentives of the team with the people who are using the platform. So bringing together those incentives by really rewarding all stakeholders, that's the creators, that's the users, that's the investors, that's the employees, and yes, the founders of vid as well. Everyone moving forward together. Also, creators will only be able to cash out their tokens after 30 days of earning them. This helps to reduce that immediate pressure to get out there and sell the tokens the second that you get them. Now, there have been some huge updates to the token model since we first talked about vid. The token supply has been reduced from 5 billion all the way down to 111 million. Now, with this reduction of supply has also come a new token. The new token is called VI. Now, there will be a token swap for those of you who bought vid during the earlier token sale. The VI token is capped at 5 million tokens during the sale. And also super important to note is that the price of the VI token is currently increasing by 1 cent per day until January 25th. So if you want to get out and pick up some VI tokens, then the sooner you pull the trigger, the cheaper the tokens are going to be. By the way, there is KYC for the sale and there are no US buyers allowed. So just a quick recap, the app is launching soon. There are loads of high quality influencers on board, and there is an awesome token model. Now, to learn more about VID and to buy some VID tokens before the price goes up any more, then click on the link down below where you can find some more details about VID and how to buy the VI token. Anyway, that is all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, the Bitcoin news, the updates on VID. Let me know what you think about any of the Bitcoin news, your Bitcoin price prediction, and what you think about VID down below in the comment section. You guys freaking rock. As always, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.